What international students would want to watch out for is scholarships, looking for any scholarships that are targeted towards international students that they can be eligible for, even before signing up for their programs in their respective colleges and universities. And while they're there, based on academic performance, being on the honors roll. Okay. Hi, my name is Seyi Akinnawonu, Seyi, and I ended up in Canada because of a decision that was made for me by my parents when my sister ended up coming to Canada. So I had cousins that come here before, and then was my sister's turn to show up here and check out the place, and everybody was doing fine. So in 2007, even though I wrote my exams that will guarantee me admission to a couple of universities in Nigeria, I had done my WAEC, NECO, and JAM, but it was all just for formalities. My parents already decided I was coming to Canada, and in August of 2007, August 7th, I was flown out, and I arrived at Toronto Pearson Airport, August 9th, 2007. Made my way to Hamilton, Ontario, and that's how my international student experience started. I ended up enrolling in Columbia International College in Hamilton, Ontario. It was like high school for international students. Ended up getting 6 OUSC credits there. That was a prerequisite for the Ontario universities because they were prestigious and you needed something extra with your degrees from back home to get into one of the universities as opposed to everywhere else in other provinces. So I ended up packing my bags and heading to Ottawa in July of 2008. I got into University of Ottawa for a bachelor's in computer science. Ended up going there, and my international student experience took a wild turn when I was there. As everything would happen, I ended up struggling with Introduction to Java, ITI 1120. And as you can imagine, computer science program, and if you're having issues with Java, that's like foreshadowing for where things ended up going. I ended up getting my first F in my life in this course. And by winter, when I would take the course again, things were even harder. I was struggling with everything. I just locked up, didn't let anybody know what was going on. I was trying to pass this course again, and then there was a strike for public transit in Ottawa, winter of 2008, and had to end up adjusting. So I would walk 30 minutes, 30-something minutes to Billings Bridge, catch a free shuttle from University of Ottawa to go to school, try to learn. And in the 2 weeks it lasted, I would like to believe that affected my performance for studies. But long story short, another semester, struggling. I got my second F. And that was incredible because coming from Nigeria, I was used to being a top student, used to being in the caliber of people that have lots of stuff going for them. So I ended up being kicked out of the program after trying to appeal. And I got tempted to go into economics, no shade for economics people, but back then, people that got kicked out of their programs tended to run towards a bachelor's in economics. I decided it wasn't for me ultimately, and I ended up finding my way to Algonquin College in Ottawa, and had a fresh start, did a 2-year diploma in wireless and telecoms, like an engineering diploma kind of thing. So I would end up spending a couple of semesters, probably a year before making up my mind. And I started in 2010, September, and I finished 2012. We had the co-op option going on for the diploma, and only 2 people got internships out of 36. So there was something going on in Ontario. Then I would end up spending 1.5 years looking for jobs and all that stuff. Couldn't find anything. But I visited my sister in Calgary in February of 2013. I went to Banff for a week, had a very nice time, and had Edmonton in mind and Calgary in mind. I had the feeling I was going to come here, job search, and do all of that stuff. And then in October of 2013, I would end up finding a job. I thought it was related to my program and all of that stuff because it had wireless in it and all that. I would end up selling phones for one of the big three telecoms companies operating in Canada right now. I was supposed to get ready to start applying for my permanent residency because that's every international student's dream. You want to secure the permanent residency application requirements on time so you can apply and move on to the next stage and be free of renewing study permits. With my experience with all the delays that happened, I definitely renewed my study permit like twice already at this point. And I was using my postgraduate work permit. And then when it was time to ask for my offer letter, that's where all the red flags started going off. I didn't realize that you're supposed to sign your offer letter immediately before you start working. It's very obvious now, but somehow I found myself in this kind of situation. And then, even though I was doing 40 hours a week, sometimes even 42, 44 overtime, we were excited to get the overtime you could get. My offer letter said I was part-time. And then when I saw the position of wireless associate, I checked the immigration documents that you normally would go and check what NOC level you were for your job. That would determine if you're eligible for permanent residency. Before COVID, permanent residency was much harder to get if you were like me that didn't go through university like in one shot and graduate straightforward, like without any delays, without changing programs and stuff like that. But in my case, I had exhausted all my options. I had exhausted lots of time. And I found out that day at work that I was knocked D. And then, based on the 2011 update to this PDF document I was reading at this time, in 2015, you couldn't use NOC-D to get permanent residency. That was just straight up. There was no way you were eligible for anything. You had to be NOC 0, A or B. Okay. So I decided that I needed to upgrade what I had and try and get a bachelor's degree because that was going to add some extra points to my point system for the express entry stuff. And then I ended up going to NATE, doing a trial semester. They made sure I did a trial semester because I was out of province and they felt like I needed that to get into the system. Ended up scraping by, getting 1A and 2 Bs, and NATE was a very wonderful experience. College work is no joke. And even with 3 courses, I was hit very hard. Ended up quitting my second exam halfway so I could go polish up my essay for which was like my third deliverable for my third course. And I managed to scrape by it. Lots of stories, amazing time, lots of studying, lots of assignments every week. But I got what I needed and I ended up being admitted permanently, like full-time and all that, no conditions. Ended up doing 2 years, and unfortunately in 2017, I had to renew my study permit again. I did all the stuff I needed to do. By this time I was a pro. This was like my 3rd study permit. And it got rejected. I did everything right, just like I had done previously for the last 2. And somehow somebody decided to reject my application. I ended up pulling out of the program. And this course was one of the ones that was only offered in winter just because of the scale of the school and what they could do. So I ended up waiting till March, getting another permit and not being able to do anything till January the following year, 2018. So I ended up doing other courses, trying to keep busy, trying to make the work permit work. And at the end of everything, I would graduate in, 2019. I would graduate 2019 in May. I was done with everything. I had my bachelor's degree and all of that, but then ended up running into issues with getting work experience in my new field as a bachelor's in technology management. So I would get only 2 months in the IT industry working and getting like applicable experience. And then I would spend almost a year plus waiting to get the right kind of experience. No experience, or the jobs, they're looking for people with 5 to 7 years experience, or 2 years experience minimum, or 10 years experience. So it was bad. Even the few I did interviews for, I definitely flunked the interviews because at this point, it'd been a while since I had graduated, and I couldn't put all the wireless and telecom stuff and all the technology management stuff together to get something good going. I would end up applying for permanent residency and getting denied. And then I met my wife that saved me from applying again because she ended up sponsoring me. And I ended up putting my little resources towards that area. I would do all that, and I was free from being a permanent, an international student in December of 2020. So right now, I'm still a permanent resident. Long story, lots of events, but yeah, I'm here now. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to my citizenship next year and a nice fresh passport. Okay. My expectation was that, like every other person, every other international student, I would go to school, be able to get that job on time, not too long after graduating, and be able to secure the 1 year requirement to get a PR, 1 year experience, Canadian experience. But my reality was I ended up in a place where I was struggling to stay in the institution. I had issues with culture shock or whatever. I don't know what to really blame it on, but I wasn't able to get help, and I didn't get help even when there was help. I should have looked into how to afford tutoring for the subjects I was struggling with. I should have talked to somebody, gotten like counsel, opened up, instead of just keeping the fact that I was struggling from people that may have helped me and made the whole process quicker and better. And then also, I should have probably just worked harder and maybe moved to Edmonton and to Alberta sooner, so I could get the right kind of jobs and everything I needed to make my experience better. The difference in the experience studying in a Canadian university and even in Canadian colleges, I think that was something that was really outstanding. It was way different and required a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, a lot of effort. I had to push myself quite a bit to get what I got, even though I still didn't get all A's, which was odd for me because I was like an honor student coming from Nigeria. So that was something that really shocked me. But I had it easy. I had my cousins here. I had my sister here. So I was getting lots of free gifts. I wasn't spending my money. I integrated perfectly. I attended lots and lots of Nigerian functions coming here. It was good to have that sense of belonging here. And there were lots of things going on with the commissioner in Ottawa. Went to the War Museum and Civilization Museum to celebrate Independence Day. That was really cool because we're like in the middle of all these very cool historic stuff, and we're actually throwing like an unconventional party. And it was cold by then. It's my second winter by then. It was nice. I still have nice memories of the way everything went out, and it was good to meet people, meet the guys that ended up mentoring us first years, both where I volunteered and like in the university itself, seeing the associations, joining the IEEE, joining all the student stuff that are available, leadership positions, all of that stuff. It was fantastic. And even till now in Edmonton, meeting nice people, meeting people that are good, people that are setting class, and just having a nice experience. Yeah, so in my experience, I'd had a couple of highs, couple of lows, but two of the most memorable things that happened was when I was working for one of the big three companies selling phones, and I was racially abused, I guess. Somebody wanted to get free phones and iPhones at that time, and saw he couldn't outsmart me and like trick me into doing applications that were not truthful. And he told me to go back to my country. So then I was young, I was fired up. I was like, oh, my country, what do you mean? This, that, this, racism. I think I may have called security there in Westmount Mall, but I just noticed it ended up happening again and again. So at the second or third time, I reported to the company. They had given me their one or two liners and tried to pacify me and reassure that everything was okay. But it's just something that kept happening. I just dismissed it as ignorance because after finding out the history of Canada, I figured that people didn't know their history. And it was right. He wasn't getting his phone, or in any of the other instances, something wasn't going their way. So it was their way of lashing out at me. And yeah, I just ended up learning to ignore it, growing thick skin. Shouldn't happen, but that's the reality we face right now. There's always going to be some shred of racism lingering, even in the future as well. So just learn to dismiss it. And then in my experience as well, the second biggest thing that was an issue was getting the right work experience that was required for applying for anything. Because of the way my journey went, in my own case, the lack of experience and the lack of time to get the experience I needed to land the top jobs in IT and every other field that was going to get me that quick access to the requirements being met for permanent residency, it was an issue. But even now, with my colleagues and a couple of people I've met over the years, still getting the Canadian experience is a big issue because Nigerian experience is just dismissed and not valued as highly. And it still creates a problem because if you're not in a technical role like in IT or programming or certain fields where your experience is valid enough and like still new enough and relevant enough to get you open doors immediately, you still have to end up coming to Canada and writing some kind of certification or exams or doing a couple of extra stuff that are redundant that you've already done before just to be eligible to apply for like the good paying jobs and all of that. So that's something that I hope will change for somebody else in the future. Because of the experience from being an international student to becoming a permanent resident or Canadian citizen has been well documented. It's very expensive and it keeps going up every year. And inflation and other factors don't even give it any respite at all. It just keeps getting worse. What international students would want to watch out for is scholarships, looking for any scholarships that are targeted towards international students that they can be eligible for, even before signing up for their programs in their respective colleges and universities. And while they're there, based on academic performance, being on the honors roll, having a certain minimum amount of CGPAs so you can be eligible for honors roll and getting scholarships and having a chance to being like a tutor or anything else you can do. You want to get jobs on campus, so it helps you to be able to finish work and go and read immediately in the library and the area that's available to you. And you also need a little bit of scholarships. We're paying 3 to 4 times the amount of domestic students. So any scholarships you can get, if they add up over time, at least they'll take care of a semester, maybe like a fall and winter semester at best. But definitely that would create some relief for your sponsors or parents or whoever's footing the bill. And there will be some savings to be had there. Yeah, and then you just want to make sure when you're not in school, you apply ahead of time for summer jobs or internships, especially internships. Internships pay way more than regular jobs. So you want to be doing well enough to be eligible for co-op, if that's an option in your program, and you want to get all the money you can get. You definitely make your experience easier because you can read and you're sure all your needs are met. Any extra needs you might have are also met. There's no pressure to look for funds from anywhere else to support your experience. And then, of course, you want to pass all your courses. You don't want any delays. You don't want to fail courses or withdraw and have to redo them again, because definitely that's going to cost you a lot of money in the long run. Being a permanent resident, I don't have to worry about renewing study permits and work permits, and I highly encourage everybody to try and get the experience they need within the time that's allotted for everybody in the postgraduate work permit and study permit, because it gets messy from there, and lots of delays and many other things can happen. But right now, I'm enjoying myself. I am in a different place. I'm enjoying the Alberta 5% GST only tax. I'm enjoying low gas prices as someone that likes driving cars. And I found a different job, different profession. Everything's going fine. Grateful for the way everything has turned out so far. And definitely enjoying what's here and looking forward to more stuff in the future. So for parents getting ready to send their children out here to Edmonton and to Canada, I will strongly advise you put effort into making sure that they can function independently and make good choices, because at that point they're in a different phase of life and with minimal supervision. So it's very important that they are prepared for making choices that will affect their career and voicing up if something changes, so that they can be able to get the information they need and be informed when making choices that affect their future. And for international students, I highly recommend that you join an international community and join a community that's country related for your country. If your university has communities and clubs like that, try and get to know of people's experiences. Try and figure out what people's stories are, try and hear many stories, and try and make an informed choice on how you want your experience to be. Make sure you focus on your studies and also do stuff that develop you. Do something leadership related. Make sure you get any extra training you can do, be a part of your student campus committee and groups and that kind of stuff. You get to meet people. Friends are very important for your experience. In case you get homesick or you're missing something, you need somewhere to go for Thanksgiving, that kind of stuff. Always make sure that you establish good relationships and just keep everything going. Yeah, it's a nice experience, and you enjoy it definitely when you're working and when you're getting like real money, not like student money. Definitely forget about everything that has happened there. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to be here now, being a permanent resident, being able to actually register a business in Alberta, being able to pass through everything and be free, and getting married. Met my wife here in Edmonton, so it's good. Everything happened the way it did. Yeah, I have a lovely daughter, and life is good. Life is very good. I'm a diaper master now, and I've had good experiences. I'm looking forward to more.